Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? So I've been thinking about this heavyweight division, man, and you know, I really don't know who the clear-cut guy is at the division. I really don't know, man. But what I do know is, there's like the new wave of heavyweight, contenders and prospects coming up. The only guy that I can really say that has really proven to me who he is, and a lot of these guys, they still have their career to go. So only person that's really proven to me who he is, and I know who he is Vladimir Klitschko. He was on his way to beating the new crop of guys, right? Like he's beat Povetkin, even beat David Hay some years ago when Hay was, I remember reading prior to the fight, fans thinking that Hay was going to be the guy that beats Vladimir. Now, it's easy in hindsight to say, what? Nobody thought that. But yes, they did. Not everybody, but there were a lot of fans that were saying the hand speed, the power, the quickness, the movement. There were some people picking Hay, and they thought that, Vladimir was too upright and stiff to deal with that, a guy that moves like that. That was said, whether you don't remember or not. That was said. All right. He started beating guys, Jennings. He picked Jennings off. He picked Pulev off. He started to beat those crop of guys, right? And then now there's a new crop, and Vladimir's getting older, but there's a new crop of guys like Fury and Joshua and Wilder and Ortiz. And Parker, you have this new wave of guys. Now, I'm not saying those guys beat Vladimir Klitschko. He is getting older. He's not going to stay young forever. Every fighter's shelf life is different. So I know some of you are going to say, well, George Foreman fought when he was over 40. Yeah, but everybody's shelf life is different. Doesn't matter your physique. Doesn't matter where you're from, your skin color, what country. Some guys, just shelf life, their ring life is different than other guys. Some guys burn out at 32. Some guys will burn out at 42. All right, now, I don't know if Vladimir has burnt out. I don't know. The fight he lost to Fury, he got beat on the cards, but he wasn't getting beat up physically from pillar to post, getting knocked down multiple times. It wasn't like that. And although on my post-fight Klitschko Jennings video, I said that, man, Vladimir is starting to look a little haggard to me. He just doesn't look like the same Vladimir that I've, seen over his dominant run. I said that in my Jennings post-fight vid with Vladimir. But with all that said, though, with this new, and with this new crop of guys, I'm not sure Vladimir can run through these guys. At his best, could he beat these guys? He possibly could, man. Like, Vladimir's going to go down as one of the best, whether you like it or not. I don't necessarily have him in my top 5 heavyweights of all time or anything like that, but he is going to go down as one of the best, at least in this era, with the fighters of today, after the Lennox left, and then, Vitaly, and then you had Vladimir. These guys, like the Wilders and Furies and all these new guys, are going to have to prove their worth, Just because Fury was able to defeat Vladimir, that's one fight that has proven, okay, this Fury dude, he might be, part of this new generation of fighters that's going to, lead us over the next 6 or 7, 8 years. He possibly could be. Or it could be a fly-by-night situation where Vladimir goes in there and whoops his ass the next time. Right? It could be like that. It can go either way. But, I don't know, just with some fans, they believe guys like Wilder is like this established, 6, 7, 8 year run type of, title holder. And he's not. He still has a lot of proving to do. He has beat Spilka and Duhaupas and MOLINA. Solid fighters. Solid. But he hasn't dominated the top half of the division the way Vladimir was doing when he was had his run. He's still around. He's getting his Fury rematch. But I'm talking about when he had those 18 successful title defenses. He's fought like 6 or 7 undefeated fighters. Right? Lost to one of them because he lost to Fury. So he was going after these guys with O's, you know, guys with zeros, and trying to pick those guys off. Guys who were, you know, earning title shots, so on and so forth. So this new crop still has a lot of proving to do. I'm not convinced by any fighter. I mean, we can say who you believe is the best fighter or who you believe will take us into the future. Who, okay, and that's fine. But nobody's really proven. Luis Ortiz has skills to pay the bills, man. I watched the Jennings fight again yesterday. Damn, man, that dude got some skills, man. And I even watched some of his old amateur footage, and he looked a lot thinner in those in some of those videos. But his skill set is there. The power is there. The way he places his punches, subtle footwork and head movement, it's all there, man. Like, you look at that guy and I say, damn, no wonder nobody is really calling him out, you know? Now, some may argue, oh, it's because he's not their mandatory. Well, you know, that's, you know, cool too, but not a lot of guys are just saying, give me Luis Ortiz. There's a few, you know, Tony Thompson called him out. Andy Ruiz Jr. said he would fight him. He just don't want to fight him on a 4-week training camp, but he would fight him. I mean, there's guys, you know, Jennings said he wants a rematch. I'm not saying every single heavyweight is scared of the guy, but I'm just saying guys really aren't bouncing his name around. Now, some of you may argue there's no money there. Okay, cool. I'm just saying guys are not bouncing his name around. You know what I mean? So I still got to see more. I'm not convinced by anybody as far as, okay, this is the guy. Now, there's some guys that look the part. Joshua looks the part. Parker, Wilder. I mean, there are some guys that look the part. I mean, that look the part. Absolutely. But for me, things need to unfold. A lot of these undefeated records need to go out the window because I don't believe, and I just dropped a video yesterday about who do you guys think will lose their O first. And let me address that too. A lot of people are saying, you know, does it matter? A loss doesn't mean nothing. It's like, you know, people are saying that, you know, Mayweather has got us in this era where we think undefeated. It's like, oh, pump the brakes, pump the brakes. I never said that nobody's ever, you know, if you lose, that you lose credibility, or I am a part of this, you know, era where the O means everything and cherry pick and pad your record. No, I'm just saying it's just a question, man. Who do you think is going to lose their O first? It's just a question. You know, my top 5 favorite fighters of all time have multiple losses. Holmes, Ali, Foreman, Holyfield, and Tyson are my 5 favorite fighters. They all have multiple losses. So I totally understand a loss doesn't make you take away from your greatness. Sometimes you get more respect in a loss than you do in a win. It's just a question, man. It was just a question, all right? But with that said, though, I still need to see more. I may favorite a guy who I think may take us into, you know, make this era into his era, but I'm not even sure the core group of guys will even be the same in the next 2-3 years, because there are some prospects that are coming up that I think have a really good shot, especially when you start mixing and matching these matchups. And I don't know how this is going to play out, but that's the beauty of it. When Klitschko was dominating, every fight I was picking Vlad stylistically and because his dominance, and I just thought, man, Vlad gonna just keep running through everybody till he retires. I favored him over Fury the first time. Although I know I said he looked haggard in the Jennings fight, I still favor him over Fury because I thought he had the superior jab. I thought he was superior condition based on the weights I've seen Fury and the way he looked in other fights and gassing out. And then I thought Vlad had the power. I just thought Vlad was an overall better fighter. Not greater. We know he's the greater fighter based on his achievements and what he's done, but